Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll call the March 1st, 2023 meeting to order of the Council of City of Springdale. I would ask that you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and nope, never mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Ms. McNear, you do roll call.
Mr. Anderson?
Present.
Mrs. Gantos? Here. Mr. Hawkins?
Present.
Mr. Jacobs?
Present.
Mr. Ramirez?
Present.
Mrs. Sullivan Weisskopf? Present. Mr. Vanover?
Present. Council, first thing, we have the minutes from our February 15th meeting before us. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt. Second.
Motion second. Discussion? All right, all those approving the minutes as published signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved with 7 affirmative votes. Okay, Ms. McNear, we have any communications this evening?
Nothing this evening, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. At this point, we'll open the floor for communications from the audience. Is there anybody in the audience like to address council for any reason? Second call. Third and final call. We'll close communications from the audience. Council, our first item in our ordinances is ordinance number 12, 2023. This is the second reading and can be enacted upon this evening. Ms. McNear, when you're ready.
Ordinance number 12, 2023, an ordinance amending section 39.03 of the codified ordinances of the City of Springdale, Ohio, relating to the designations of depositories. Whereas the Council of the City of Springdale, the Council has passed ordinances establishing procedures for the designation of depositories, and whereas the Council seeks to adjust the language relating to the designation of depositories with the passage of this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Springdale, and members elected thereto concurring. Section 1, Section 39.03 of the codified ordinances of the City of Springdale shall be amended as provided for in the attached Exhibit A, which is incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, Council hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the passage of this legislation were taken in an open meeting of this Council, and that all deliberations of this Council and of its committees, if any, which resulted in formal action, were taken in meetings open to the public in full compliance with applicable legal requirements, including Section 1.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect on the earliest date allowed by law.
All right, Council, for the reading of ordinance number 12, 2023, what is your pleasure?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion second. Excuse me, discussion? All right, seeing no lights, Ms. McNear, you poll council.
Mr. Hawkins?
Aye.
Mrs. Gantos?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mrs. Sullivan Weisskopf?
Aye.
Mr. Vanover?
Aye. Ordinance number 12, 2023 passes with 7 affirmative votes. And next up is ordinance number 14, 2023. It does include an emergency clause. Ms. McNear, when you're ready.
Ordinance number 14, 2023, an ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of driveway aprons in the public right-of-way related to the State Route 747 curb replacement project and declaring an emergency. Whereas as part of the State Route 747 curb replacement project, the city determined the need to construct driveway aprons in the public right-of-way in front of the properties listed on the attached Exhibit A and move forward with the improvements. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the City of Springdale, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring. Section 1, that the final assessment of the cost and expense of constructing said improvements of driveway aprons is hereby adopted and confirmed, in that there be and are hereby levied and assessed in accordance with benefit upon the lots and lands bounding and abutting upon the construction area in the amounts reported in the attached Exhibit A, which is incorporated herein by reference. Section 2, that the assessment against each lot or parcel of land shall be payable in cash within 30 days after the adoption of this ordinance, with no interest to be charged thereon. All cash payments shall be made to the Clerk of Council, Finance Director of the city. All assessments thereof remaining unpaid at the expiration of said 30 days shall be certified by the Clerk of Council, Finance Director to the County Auditor as provided by law to be placed by him, her, on the tax duplicate and collected as other taxes are collected. Section 3, that the Clerk of Council Finance Director is hereby directed to deliver a certified copy of this ordinance to the county auditor within 30 days after its adoption. Section 4, that this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and general welfare, and shall be effective immediately upon its passage pursuant to Article 2D, 3D of the Charter. The reason for said declaration of emergency is for the orderly financing of the project and to meet related deadlines.
All right, council, have heard the reading of ordinance 14, 2023. It does include the emergency clause. What is your pleasure?
Move to adopt. Second.
Motion second, discussion? Seeing no lights, Ms. McNear, your poll council.
Mrs. Sullivan Weiscup?
Aye.
Mrs. Gantos?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Hawkins?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Vanover?
Aye. Ordinance number 14, 2023 passes with 7 affirmative votes. And next up is ordinance number 15, 2023, and this is a first reading. Ms. McNear, when you're ready.
Ordinance number 15, 2023, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance and dedication of part of Princeton Pike, part of Crescentville Road, Strategic Parkway, and Crossings Court and other public improvements associated with the Springdale Commerce Park. Where streets including Strategic Parkway and Crossings Court and other associated public improvements have been constructed as part of the creation and development of the Springdale Commerce Park. Whereas the public improvements have been reviewed by the city engineer and are now complete and ready to be transferred and accepted by the city of Springdale, the city. Whereas the city previously accepted such improvements pursuant to ordinance number 7 to 2022, original ordinance, which was recorded in official record book 14838, page 1159 of the Hamilton County, Ohio Recorder's Office records. And whereas the original ordinance required additional information to complete the transfer of ownership of such public improvements. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the city of Springdale, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring. Section 1, the City of Springdale City Council finds that the dedication to the public use of either the fee simple ownership or easement in part of Princeton Pike, part of Crescentville Road, Strategic Parkway, and Crossing Court, such roads being more particularly described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, and other public improvements as set forth in the Springdale Commerce Park plat, recorded in Plat Book 482, page 56 to 66 of the record, are hereby accepted by the city. Section 2, council hereby authorizes the mayor to execute any and all documents required in furtherance of such acceptance and dedication of the road and other public improvements by the city as detailed in the attached document. Section 3, council hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the passage of this legislation were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and of its committees, if any, which resulted in formal action were taken in meetings open to the public in full compliance with applicable legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect on the earliest date allowed by law.
All right, council, have heard the reading of ordinance number 15, 2023. This is the first reading. Questions, Mr. Braun?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to let council know this may sound familiar. You actually passed this in October, and the county auditor's office and specifically the map room reached out to us, and we then reached out to the developer to let them know that this had not been recorded because the plat we were presented with did not have the county requirements on it. So the developer presented us with a new plat that does have those requirements, and then they will attempt to record the right-of-way and the other things that relate to that development, including the new area. So as soon as we adopt this, I'll be forwarding it to the developer, and then it'll get recorded.
Any other discussion? All right. Mr. Riggs, this is not particularly to this endorsement, or ordinance rather, but they've taken the jungle down on that front corner of 747 Crescentville and have been working heavily. Well, and it may have changed, but my thought or understanding was that was going to be one of the last developed. Are they going to switch gears? Do we know?
Are you referring to the building 1 area or where building?
Well, this is between building 1 and 3, what was the picnic area. That's all wide open territory, and they've been grading it for about, what, a week, 10 days? Yeah, and because the first time I come through in the daylight, it's like, whoa, something changed here real quick. And I didn't remember that, they had changed. I know there was plans to build a second large building, but I thought that was on our border of our neighborhood, so.
Yeah,
Anything?
I'm not aware of anything. I'll follow up with the building department and see if that was part of maybe the building one construction permit. It sounds like it may have been just given the timing, because I think permits were issued around last week, but I'll follow up with them.
Okay, all right.
Maybe they have a tenant on that one.
Let's hope, let's hope. I wouldn't argue with that, but it was a stark change when that, because they had two of my favorite, the gnarly old Osage orange trees that I would have loved to seen them tackle those things, because I know how dense that wood is, and there was a big orange spot on the where they chipped them. So it's like, good luck. Probably had to go buy a new chipper after that, but anyway. Okay, with that, we're through ordinances and resolutions. We're at old business. So anybody have any old business to bring forward this evening? All right, new business. Okay, Ms. Weisskopf?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to call an executive session for Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G3 to conference with counsel related to imminent litigation.
We got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion? We anticipate any action coming out of this? No. All right, Ms. McNear will poll counsel for going into executive session.
Mrs. Sullivan Weisskopf?
Aye.
Mrs. Gantos? Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Hawkins?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Vanover?
Aye. We will retire to executive session. We will return shortly. right, council is back in session after retiring for an executive session. At this point, we're at meetings and announcements. Ms. Weisskopf?
Thank you, Mr. President. Planning Commission will have a special meeting with a public hearing on Tuesday, the 7th at 7 p.m. Our regularly scheduled meeting on the 14th is canceled. Thank you.
Mr. Jacobs?
Thank you, Mr. President. Springdale Board of Health will meet on March 11th at 7 p.m. in this building.
Ms. McNear?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder to all elected officials to file your 2022 financial disclosure statement. It is due by May 15th. Thank you.
Mr. Hawkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanking everybody who participated in the horse races and contributed donations, what have you. They raised over $7,500. It was a great turnout, and SYB sends their appreciation.
Mr. Yule?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Civil Service Commission will meet tomorrow, March the 2nd at 2 p.m. in the council conference room.
All right, seeing no more lights, at this point, we'll open the floor for communications from the audience. Anybody in the audience like to address council?
This one?
Hello, this is Katie Wells. I live on Bernhardt. I am just following up. We've had a gas leak off of Grandin since the end of January, and I know we weren't really sure what to do. We've called Duke. They've come out maybe once, maybe twice to mark it, but the smell is getting significantly worse. I can smell it at my child's bus stop, and our neighbors can smell it coming in through their windows and doors. So I just don't know what we can do at this point, and if we can get help from you guys to figure out how to get it fixed, or what us as neighbors living right there can just do.
Mr. Yule?
Thank you, Mr. President. Our police, fire department, and public works department are aware. They have been in contact also with Duke. Duke came back out again, but we will follow back up tomorrow to see what the status of that.
Thank you.
The last time we called, late last week, I believe, yeah. So they were going to send a crew out either that day or the next
They
morning.
totally did.
Okay.
It was pretty instant, and they marked it again. They dug some holes, and then after they dug the holes, it's just the smell is
Just
even
continues.
stronger.
Okay, yep, we will continue to check into it, monitor, and
Thank
get
you.
it resolved. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Still in communications from the audience?
Good evening, Julie Matheny, here on behalf of Springdale Offering Support, just to make an announcement that we are giving away two $1,500 scholarships to a graduating senior Springdale resident. Has to be a senior that's going to either a college or trade school, and has to have a 3.0 grade point average. So if anybody out there in TV land would like their child to apply, the email address is sos@springdale.org. sos@springdale.org, and the deadline is March 31st, or May 3rd, March 31st. Thank you.
Thank you. Still in communications from the audience? Mr. Anderson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just also want to add, I know Princeton School District sent out a reminder to all parents about the SOS Scholarship. I think it went out last week as well, so hopefully that generated some interest.
All right, we'll close communications from the audience, and update on legislation still in development. Mr. Hawkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. As you review your internal memorandum, item number 1 was addressed with ordinance number 12, 2023, an ordinance amending section 39.03 of the codified ordinances of the City of Springdale, Ohio, relating to designation of depositories, and that passed the 7-0 vote. Item number 2 was addressed with ordinance number 14, 2023, an ordinance levying special assessments for the improvement of driveway aprons in the public right-of-way related to the State Route 747 curb replacement project and declaring an emergency, and that passed the 7-0 vote. Item number 3 was addressed with ordinance number 15, 2023, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance and dedication of part of the Princeton Pike Park of Crescentville Road, Strategic Parkway, and Crossings Court, and other public improvements associated with the Springdale Commerce Park, and that was a first reading.
All right. And standing Mr. Hawkins, recap the legislative items requested for our next council meeting.
There'll be a second reading of ordinance number 15, 2023, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of the dedication of part of the Princeton Pike, part of Crescentville Road, Strategic Parkway, and Crossings Court, and other public improvements associated with the Springdale Commerce Park. Also, a request for an ordinance authorizing the sale and disposal or transfer of personal property from the city of Springdale, and that's it, unless there's anything else from council or the administration.
We good?
And we'll also have a presentation from Metro next week.
Yes.
Next meeting.
Next meeting. All right. We've got, well, we need the time, time. The rental committee next Wednesday, time. Who's available? What's,
You said March 8th, right? What time?
2 o'clock?
2 is okay with me. Mr. Anderson?
F2. All right, 2 o'clock. We get that announced and posted. All right, well, with that, we have item 15 before us.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Council is adjourned.